In the midst of some of the most racially motivated violence in recent U.S. history, famous militia group, the Oath Keepers, have decided to come down to Ferguson. If you'll recall, they are one of the militia groups that showed up to save Cliven Bundy of the Bundy Ranch from having to pay taxes. So what they've done is that they've decided their skills and their desire for freedom is needed in Ferguson. Have the troops come to protect the people from the tyranny of the American government, as they are so fond of saying in their oaths? No. In fact, they've come to carry out further repression of the black population by threatening them with violence. The group says that their aim is to protect businesses from rioters. Yes, that's right. Those who've sworn an oath to protect the people from the tyranny of government are prepared, and have been, fighting alongside those same state forces to protect private property, not people. The group is calling for volunteers to do direct action infantry, meaning they want people to come down, as they say, with their own weapons, body armor, and equipment to carry out night patrols. The purpose of these night patrols is to protect property from the citizens of Ferguson. That's right, the guns of the Oath Keepers sworn to protect the people, for them, at least themselves, from the tyranny of the government, are carrying out the actions of defending a white supremacist colonizer state. As a good example of this defense of the white capitalist power structure, from their website they denounce the destruction of a Little Caesars pizza store. Just as a reminder, Little Caesars is owned by billionaire Michael Ilitch Sr., who also owns the Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Tigers, and it should be noted that he has been the engine of Detroit's downtown redevelopment efforts, which demolishes many low-income homes whose residents were mainly lower-income African Americans. But don't worry, the group would like you to know that they are not racist. Because we suspected that Governor Nixon would drop the ball, we put a call out among our membership early Monday morning, asking for volunteers, and got enough of a response to commit to protecting the property of 4 local small business owners, 2 Asian, 1 black, 1 white, in downtown Ferguson. See, they're not racist. There's 2 Asian guys and 1 black guy, so therefore they're not racist. However, Sam Andrews, the leader of the group who's doing a lot of the organizing, says that their night patrols are prepared to use lethal force against people in Ferguson in order to defend private property. Hashtag all property rights matter. This is an ongoing theme with the Oath Keepers, the white colonizer mentality. The right of some rancher who doesn't want to pay taxes on stolen land is worthy of defense, but not the black masses. They're happy to aim their guns at federal agents for rich white people, but not poor black people. That is not to say that the Oath Keepers don't have their criticisms of the government in this situation. And they say Governor Jay Nixon has inappropriate used riot-style tactics against demonstrators in the city, which violates their constitutional rights. With hundreds of criminals stealing the businesses of Ferguson blind and damaging private property, how many arrests of actual looters took place? The percentage is embarrassing, and arrests otherwise of peaceful protesters for failing to disperse and failure to keep moving don't count. So essentially, black people need to fight for their rights and have constitutional rights, just as long as they don't actually do anything that would be violent to defend those same rights, particularly when it comes to destroying property, because as we know, the right-wing conception of freedom is all about defending property. So you're being oppressed and you have the right to do something, just don't break the law. Like showing up to a ranch with a ton of automatic weapons and aiming them at federal agents. I mean, the double standard here is absolutely obvious. They're fully willing to go in there and get killed to defend some white rancher, a millionaire, who simply just doesn't want to pay his taxes on land that he was illegally using. But if we have a mass of people who are black who are being oppressed by the government, that's statistically proven over and over again, they only want to help protect private property. Or they say the government's being unfair to people violating their constitutional rights, but we know which ones they're really talking about. The ones who will just sit there and do nothing, which is a tactic that they don't believe in. So the hypocrisy here is absolutely outstanding. And this is one of the main things that I said previously in my other Ferguson videos, where the black masses cannot rely on white people to help them. You're going to be able to find a couple of white people here and there who are willing to do something to help. But when it comes right down to it, and there is an uprising like this, or a riot, depending, white people are going to scream and cry and demand the government come in and shut you down. So no, I would say playing inside the rules, the ones dictated by the government, is a very questionable tactic in terms of usefulness. But keep in mind this, no matter how many white liberals say they're on your side and that they support you, they will freak out and they will call the government in to repress you as soon as you question the very source of their privilege. They're okay with pointing it out. They'll say, I'm white, I have a privilege over you. But as soon as you suggest something that might take that privilege away, all of a sudden their tone changes and they're suddenly your enemy. To the black masses, you are literally going to have to do it yourself. You cannot rely on us one day changing our minds or having some kind of slow change idea that frankly hasn't really panned out in any really serious way. You're going to have to do it yourself. You absolutely cannot rely on us.